Welcome to this short introduction of industrial Linux systems. My name is Bastere. I work as a product manager slash technical sale at Prevas in Denmark, and have been working with the conceptualizing of industrial Linux systems and technical sales on industrial Linux and cybersecurity systems for the last 15 years. This short presentation is just a short introduction to the concept, and of course there is a lot of more details to it, but that is better taken in a one-to-one or one-to-a-group discussion online. So please contact me if anything of this is of interest to discuss further. When we look upon industrial Linux life cycles, we base our knowledge on hundreds of industrial Linux systems that we have delivered over the last 15 years, all made on proprietary hardware. And therefore, we also go out and recommend this overall concept in this slide to our customers, regardless if they're using Prevas as a partner or they do it themselves, because there's a lot of proven in use concepts in this. If we start in the top left corner, we have our first piece of hardware. That could be an off-the-shelf hardware or a reference board or your own designs. We always on that to start with recommend make a basic platform development. Not one with all your proprietary hardware interfaces in, regardless of how interesting they are. Basic platform development means that you have a build system set up, integration tool set up, that you can use on multiple different host machines. That could be yours as a developer, the guy next to you, or your development server. It should actually be able to build this regardless of who you are. And the Linux you put on to start with shall be quite simple. It shall have RAM support, it should have some non-volatile storage support, it shall have, for instance, have Ethernet support and serial port support. And maybe if you have a screen, then it should have screen support as well. And besides that, we recommend add multiple or dual boot system on it, so you can remotely update your system. It eases your development, it eases your test quite a lot. So nothing else should go into the basic platform, because if you start adding proprietary hardware, special hardware, then you do a lot of additions that actually could put you in a situation where you actually don't know if it's your basic Linux kernel that is slowing down or breaking down the Linux, or if it is some additions that shouldn't have been made. So start out with the basic platform so you have a solid foundation for the rest of your work. When that is up and running, you have your build server running where you can build your basic platform. Then go on to iterative development, where you add different software features, add different kind of hardware interfaces on an iterative basis, so you can easily go one step back in your Git repository and see that if it was your addition of a given hardware type that made the Linux crash. It's a lot easier to work in these small iterative steps when you're working on enhancing your Linux. When all the iterative steps have been made, then you can make your release. And our recommendation is from beginning of, plan to have the right side of this slide in as well. You need to understand that when you made your first release of your Linux platform with a given hardware support, then afterwards it's a matter of planned maintenance. It's not development anymore. It's planned maintenance where you have a big wheel that turns maybe twice a year, where you update your Linux, and there we update kernel, bootloaders, Yocto build systems, and all the different software features in order to be on the latest stable that we can get from the community. And that planned maintenance of your Linux platform can be triggered by simple platform maintenance, that is the planned one I mentioned, or new feature requests that can come from either the sales department that wants new features, or it can come from some cybersecurity intelligence that states, CVEs have come, it's severe for the security of your system. We need to mitigate this. That could add a feature request of mitigating this, and then the big wheel turns again and you get a new release of your Linux. Everything planned, everything run in maintenance stage. Then new hardware occurs because in our opinion, industrial Linux systems need to live for 10 years or, or more, because that is what most industrial systems do. It needs to be reproducible. We also already mentioned that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to run it on a development server. Um, and it should be upgraded on a regular basis. Adding new hardware is not a matter of doing what some companies do that we consider very dangerous and wrong, just adding a new Linux. Then you suddenly have 2 or more Linuxes you need to maintain. They might have different capabilities. No, adding new hardware means adding new hardware support to the same source base. So you put all your maintenance and work effort into working on the same software base, just built for different pieces of hardware. So adding new hardware to industrial Linux means adding a new bootloader, adding a new kernel, and nothing else. Then you can build it, and if it works, then you actually have a new platform release with a new hardware type. And then your maintenance state contains the same source base for all boards, just tested and maintained for multiple pieces of hardware. There you have a nice flow where you can upgrade your hardware when components get end of life without having the pain of needing to maintain multiple hardware Linux platforms or multiple different Linuxes that might trigger different versions of your application as well. So it gives a steady and calm flow that is maintainable for a very long time. At Preface, we have been doing this quite a lot. We have been doing that for numerous customers. More than 100, close to 200 Linuxes have been made over the years. And luckily, a lot of this is maintained. So we have conceptualized it into Preface Industrial Linux, as we call it. We use Yocto as a build-in integration tool because it really captures our requirement of configuration management and support of multiple hardwares, and it's reproducible. So what we have been doing in Preface Industrial Linux is making a pre-configuration of what the basic system contains of. What parts are in the basic system? It's not a distribution, it's a set of recipes that we test works. And it also have dual boot with A and B partition, so you can run on your A partition, update your B partition on the fly, then just make a reboot into partition B. If that runs, you're happy. If it doesn't run, your system falls back to partition A. Those kinds of remote update systems are needed because everything is online today. The days of where we installed the system and never touched it again or never updated it have ended when everything became online. So we consider that about part of the basic system. And then PL Plus, that is all the iterative enhancement, and that we typically do in combination with our customers, where they do some work, we do some work, or we take it all, or the customer is doing it themselves. And on the maintenance side, we have regular PL maintenance where we update all different ports we are testing, including if our customers have bought on the maintenance at our side, we of course also test them. Typically, we have 8 to 10 different boards that run tests every night, and we update whenever a new Yocto is out there with the newest kernel and bootloader and everything. And we also have a service, Preface Cybersecurity Intelligence, where we track CVEs for the given platform, enabling an alert service to our customers. So that is some of the benefits that where Preface Industrial Linux matches in with the regular Industrial Linux lifecycle at our customers, even if they do it themselves. From time to time, we have customers buying into cybersecurity intelligence services or buying into maintenance where we put their Linux into a flow like this. If we look upon building a Linux system, the foundation from what I showed on the last slides, this is a bit more technical, but it's just to give an impression of what goes into to making a solid industrial Linux setup. In the middle, we have a build and configuration system. We use Yocto, as I mentioned. And from the left side and around, there are some host tools that need to be there to run it. And we run everything in Dockers. So you can have a Docker, spin it up on one laptop. You can have the same Docker, spin it up on your build server. And it should work around if the host tools are there that the Docker needs. So inside the Docker, there are tool chains, and then there are recipes for everything. Recipes for bootloader, kernels, BSP drivers, core apps, core libs, patches, file system content setup, which features go into the rule file system. And of course, added by our customers mostly, is user applications. Recipe for building that. All these recipes goes there with the metadata that binds it together, and then we can ask the build system, build customer A's Linux platform for this piece of hardware, and out comes a target image. And that's it. No human interference from build start to build end. And if you run on a build server, then it of course runs automated. So if we look upon this, we have a bit of green colors. We have the light green colors. That is where we get a lot of help from Peel, because that is what is in Peel Basic, or where it already runs on different hardware architectures, so that we can use the same Linux kernel that was used on that board, just configure it a bit differently. And then we have a full test system around it where we test that everything works, and you get a nice test report. And the dark green color is where we get some help from Peel. That is the BSP drivers, because all hardware are different, but most of the peripherals, they have BSP drivers that are close to something else. So we get some help from the fact that we have been doing this for a long time when we use Peel. So that is a typical setup. So no human interference, no manual work. If you do some manual work, then in our opinion, it's not reproducible, because then you need to do the same manual work once again next time you do it. And people can get sick, they can get new jobs, and manual work lists, quite typically something is missing in them. But if it goes into a recipe that runs on a build server without human interference, then it's correctly documented in that recipe. Last slide, that is a screenshot of our latest flyer, showing more or less what I've been telling here, and also including our recommendations of what to do. Use as much standard off-the-net integration tools as possible in order not to invent the wheel yourself. We recommend Yocto and Open Embedded. Add safe update remote services, so you can remote update your system and monitoring it up remotely. That is part of Peel Basic. We recommend, if you do it yourself, start having that. Automated redundancy testing, very important. We use that all the time. We recommend our customers, if you do it yourself, add all the testing around it, because testing is very important. And you need to run along with the issue and rata list, or at least follow along with the CVEs, because there are holes in the cheese, and you need to be aware when new holes occurs. And the offerings we are looking into in order to have this very fast time to market, we have a lot of software reuse, high reliability. We offer the previous industrial Linux Basic on your hardware at fixed cost within 6 weeks, without knowing the hardware. As long as it's capable of running a Linux, then you have your basic system up and running, Dockers, everything within 6 weeks. And then we have the customization flow, typically adding a bit of interfaces here and there. It can of course explode if you have vast amount of different proprietary interfaces, but quite often we see something to make a full customization of 2 to 6 weeks of work. Quality enhancement, that is all the testing and source handling where I've been mentioning, and have the maintenance plan, because we look into longevity maintenance. And open source licenses also needs to be handled. We put in a bill of material that tells you which licenses are included and license text and everything. If you do it yourself, please extract that, because we need and shall oblige the community, because the community is the foundation of why we can have a good Linux system on our own hardware. And plan in reuse as much as possible, because that minimizes your risk. On the right hand, that is just a snapshot of how Preface Industrial Linux looks today. It might change a bit tomorrow or within some weeks, because the Linux community is a living thing. There might come new tools that we consider better than the existing tools in the Preface Industrial Linux basic package. So it's a living thing, but that is the snapshot of how it looks today. That was my presentation of today. There's of course a lot of other technical details into that. It can be hour-long discussions of what to do, how to do, that is very domain specific or specific to your use. So please contact me on mail or telephone or LinkedIn, or however you can come in contact with me. I gladly take this discussion with you and your team. Thank you.